Hello and welcome to the Build with Baer Workshop. My name is Pat Baer. I'm here to build a model kit and to hang out with all of you. I'm throwing the Bear Cave, the Lego, the site, the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat. If you are currently a subscriber, reply with those emotes. If you are not yet a subscriber, you can say hi or use other people's emotes. Or if you would like to be a lurker and just lurk and not say anything, you also have that option. You can just hang out. Will this be a chill Saturday evening? It might. Aristophan is here. Ghost Valve is here. Welcome to both of you. Happy to have you here. Just got to click on a thing here. Okay, great. Making sure that looked good. My preview was frozen, but now it is not frozen. And so I can see me. I can see me there. Lashbrook is here. Hello, Lashbrook. Welcome, welcome. Happy to have you all here. It's a Saturday night. I had a fruitful day. More on that later. That's a pun. A fruitful day is technically a pun. But we'll get into all of that. As I said, it was a long Saturday for me. Ended my night here with model kit building. What did I do today? Worked in the yard, specifically on some fruit plants. Hung out with some family, did some family time, shot a video that will go up on Monday, but will go out to my patrons, my $5 and $10 patrons tomorrow. So I had to get that done today so that I didn't have to do it tomorrow. Cleaned my computer yesterday and then reset a bunch of things, including my overhead camera. You should not notice a difference, but for me, it is a difference. The placement of said camera. It's better than it was previously, I believe. We'll find out during the stream, but I'm pretty sure that I have adjusted it in a way that is beneficial to me. Working on the Gundam Zeta 3 Real Grade. The Zeta 3 Real Grade, the Karaba version, which is an older real grade. It's one of the first real grades, but it has a lovely look. Lots of extra bonus pieces that are unnecessary. And then a bunch of stickers. And we're going to do the stickers as we go. We finished one leg right here. We got the other leg to build. And when both legs are done, I will then apply the one sticker to each leg of the new stickers. There's old stickers that we'll get to when we do it. And then we'll move on to the waist and part of the chest and the head, which is nonsense. But the way this kit transforms, you do the head way earlier than I would have imagined, and it's odd. We'll get into that. I'm going to reply to him on tweet, see if we get a few more friends to join us tonight. As I said, if this is a chill evening, then it's a chill evening, and I think that's okay. But if more people are hanging out, that's also cool, because we got a bunch of things to talk about tonight. And we'll go to the overhead right the fuck now. Hi. So you can see, we got one leg done here. Lots of work with that. You can see there's some movement in this kit. Ooh, I actually didn't panel line part of that. I realized because this kit you have to move this kit around in some ways to do the transformation. And I forgot to hit this piece, which is good to remember for myself when I get to the other piece to do it before I stick it on there. Because I had not. When I take this other piece out on the other leg, I will panel line that piece before it goes in, because it'll be a lot easier that way. But yeah, I'm really loving this particular kit and its vibe, its style. I think it's just got a cool look to it. So yeah, this thing, a lot of this leg moves around in ways that I think are really fun, and I didn't play around with too much. Oops, sorry, that came out there. Why did I apologize? Apologize to the kit. But yeah, there's a lot of movement on this kit. It's going to look real good. We'll move on to the other part of the leg here. I apologize for having something in my mouth that had come out of there. I had a chocolate sometime before the stream. There's a little piece of peanut. Just decided it was still going to hang out. Can't have that anymore. I hope you're doing well out there on the old internet. We're going to continue to work on this kit as we focus here on this other leg. And then, as I said, we'll add some stickers to it. So, earlier, I joked. I had a hilarious joke about how today was fruitful. The tomato plants are back. Last year's experiment continues, and it's grown. Stakes have been put into the ground. Poles have been added. string has been strung all over the place because when tomato plants grow, tomatoes grow, and then the vines from the plants, the branches start getting pulled down by the weight of tomatoes, and they can break off, and that is not something you want. So you want to have places for the vines to eventually, the branches to grow out on. So I did a lot of that. You can find that on my Twitter account, a couple photos of that. It's fine. I must remind you, I don't particularly enjoy raw or cooked stewed tomatoes. I don't mind marinara sauce. I don't mind at all ketchup, but I don't want to slice a tomato in something. You know? Oh, we got cherry tomatoes in the salad. That's fine. Thank you. But no, I'm good. Just not my jam. But my parents love tomatoes. My dad had some, not from the garden, but had some had a tomato, a BL sandwich today. No, LT. An LT, no bacon. It was an LT. A sandwich today. So, the family enjoys it, and I enjoy them. So, I will say this. When it comes to lawn, I've talked about this on stream a bunch of times. When it comes to lawn care, I don't care. Like, I just can't be asked about it, and it's not something I'm interested in doing. But specifically in the case of, like, my parents appreciating it, I appreciate when they appreciate. That's the vibe. That's what I'm going for with that, right? Like, I want them to be happy, so fine. And it's something to do, and that's also good. And it is an excuse to be outside, which I do need on occasion, more excuses to be outside because I'm not always, I'm a kind of an indoor kid, indoor man. So excuses to be out there and doing things, probably good. Probably something that I should be thinking about more than I do think about. So it's like, okay, well, I should probably go and do other things outside. Oh, I just realized this piece here is the piece that I was looking at on the other side of this kit. This is the piece that I should panel line now. I was talking about it before. I should just panel it. Yeah, because it can pop out. So let me do that. Let me panel line this part right now while I'm thinking of it, so I don't fuck it up later. But yeah, I'm getting out there doing a bit of yard work. Let's see. Yesterday, did clean the computer. Couldn't remember if I did it in April or not, so I made sure I did it yesterday. Took it out there, really just to kind of clean things up, make sure everything's looking good. But I did get out there and take care of business, and that business was, of course, spraying or using the air duster that I have to kind of blow out as much dust as possible, clean the glass, that kind of stuff. Make sure that everything's moving around and looking okay. Clean around where it normally lives. Pick up a thing that falls sometimes near my my computer is my collection of beam sabers. I have a lot of beam sabers. I just keep them because kits always come with beam. Almost every kit that I build comes with a beam saber. So I was just like, oh, I should definitely have these around by my desk so I can fidget with them. But then when it's happening is, of course, I dropped them. So I was able to pick up all those when I pulled my computer monitor, or my computer, not computer monitor, tower out. I was like, oh shit, I got a lot of these. Lastbrook says, I went outside to vote and get stuff from Quick Trip, both in walking distance, but it wasn't as fun because it was a heat index in the mid 80s before noon. That's a lot of heat. I'm sorry to hear that, Lashbrook. It is definitely more reasonable here than that. We dropped temp a little bit, but that has come back up quite a bit as well, so it is not as bad. But it was starting to feel a little unseasonably cool here. I am expecting it to start heating up. I mean, I'm wearing a lot of sunscreen right now when I go on my walks, like trying to keep up with that, trying to get back in that habit because I sometimes let that habit fall to the wayside in like the winter. But I got to get back to doing that all the time so that I can keep everything from. I don't want skin cancer. I don't know. I was like, oh, there's probably a different way to say that, but there's not. I just don't want skin cancer. So I got to put on sunscreen, protect myself, protect my neck and my face and my ears and my arms, my legs, my nose, just important stuff, forehead, important places. Got to protect that stuff. Keep everything looking good. All right, I need H and E. H34 and E. H34, I've already used the other H34, so it should be easy to find. There it is. Found it. Other things I want to talk to you about. If you are a lapsed wrestling fan and you remember the Hardy Boys final deletion, Matt Hardy's final deletion, which kind of like reminded people that, hey, Impact is a thing. Impact Wrestling is cool. And maybe you saw that, and then maybe you saw their like WWE one that wasn't as good. There are other ones at Impact that were like fine. They did another Hardy Compound match, another deletion. This was the firm deletion, and it was good. Perfectly funny. The extended cut, if you Google it, you can find the Bleacher Report upload of the extended version, which adds context, which was missing from the TV cut, like why the referees were a guy I recognized briefly and an announcer for Ring of Honor. It's because they're both from Omega Wrestling, the wrestling group that the Hardys founded. And it's like, oh, that makes sense. Yeah, there's some context in that. And also more jokes from our boy Stokely Hathaway, Big Stoke, who was just fucking so funny in it. It's good. If you like your wrestling with very little wrestling and a lot of nonsense, there was a lot of nonsense to be had in that match. If you like to see young children doing wrestling moves on an adult, grown-ass man after he was tasered by their grandfather, it's pretty good for that. It's pretty fucking good for that. That's something that you're like, if my description of the firm deletion has you going, yeah, I'll watch that, Pat. This could be something for you because it was pretty good. Also, last night, after watching Rampage at an early time, I need to see the extended version. Yes, Lashbrook, there's context in the extended version of like, where did Stokely go? Why did Stokely end up in that one weird place? And you also get to see some of the referees do cool shit. Caprice, who like was an accomplished wrestler and turned announcer, like gets to do a fucking sick ass move, and it's pretty fun to see him do some cool shit. But yeah, there's some more in it. But yeah, last night after watching Rampage at an early time, and then SmackDown, and then the extended version of the Final Deletion, my wrestle crew was still hanging out. We were still together, and we watched Wonderland 23, which is the latest from Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. This show was a Thursday night affair, late Thursday. Didn't end up watching it then. Watched it last night with friends, which is the better way to watch wrestling. Did have English commentary. It's a great place to jump in. It's interesting to me that the match of the night did not have a title on the line. The semi-main event was the International Princess Championship, which was fine. It was a fine affair. Nobody thought that Rika was going to lose. And the main event was Mizuki versus Sawyer Wreck, who rules. Sawyer Wreck fucking kicks ass. But I did not think that Sawyer Wreck, on her third match ever for Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling was going to win the title. In Mizuki's, like, I was like, that's not going to happen. So it was kind of a thing where I'm like, this will be good, but I'm not expecting it to be great. And I think it was good, certainly. But yeah, I wasn't like, oh, this is going to be the match of the night. The match of the night was Miyu versus Arasu. Miyu Watanabe versus Arasu Endo. Unexpected for my part, because I am a fan of Arasu. I'm a big fan of Arasu. And Miyu Watanabe is going to be a world champion or international princess champion. She's going to be either their second top or their top belt holder in the very near future. It is just a matter of time before she becomes the champion, a champion there, because she is so good at wrestling and has such a great look, and the crowd just loves her. And also, I mean, I don't necessarily see a big shiny match in her future, another big match in Arasu's future like that, but like, she's only been doing it for a couple years and she's gotten so fucking good. Like, of the tag team that she's in with Suzume is probably more the breakout star. But Arasu Endo, always going to root for Arasu because she's a big fan of one particular Sailor Moon character, which I always bring up as the wink, wink, nudge, nudge. It's like, oh, Arasu, she's a big Sailor Uranus fan, particularly. And then also, for a very long time, her mask that she was wearing, not wrestling mask, but just like being out in the world, pandemic mask, was a rainbow mask. And, it doesn't take much for people to start asking questions like, hey, Arasu, hey. The answer is believed to be yes. We don't pull people out of anything and put them in awkward positions, but it does seem like that's the case, which is lovely. But anyway, she's also a very hard worker and great. So I'm hoping for more good things for Osu. All right, so where does oh, that goes like that. Okay, great. I forgot that part of this leg is just like weirdly hollow. So part of this leg is weirdly hollow. But yeah, I will continue to sing the praises of Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. It is an easy thing to get into. The characters are very easy to understand. Shout outs to Hyper Misao, who a couple of years ago divorced time and age. She got a divorce with age, so she is forever in her 20s, which is radical and fucking kick ass. She teamed in a trio with actual teenagers, children, a 14-year-old and a 15-year-old, and they had Hyper Misao masks, and they all came out, and they were mini Misaos. Glassbrook. So, Hyper Misao, who is a neighborhood hero, she is a hero. Her finishing move is a crossbody from the top rope where she says, I am a hero. She rules. She announced a retirement match. And at the end of that retirement match, she retired from caring about her age. She also announced that she was getting married, which, as you might be aware, culturally, when you are a young lady trying to sell tickets and be any sort of pop figure in Japan, you don't tell people that you're in a relationship. She told everybody, hey, I'm engaged to be married. I am not retiring and giving up wrestling. And also, I am divorcing my age. She later announced recently that because she's 23, their net age between the three of them was 17, which is a lie, which was very great. But of course, the 14-year-old was not the youngest wrestler in the ring because um, Palm is 3 years old. Not really. Palm Harajuku is not 3 years old. She's been wrestling for 3 years, but she's like Gritty, where she just kind of like hatched one day and became a thing, which is one of the interpretations of Gritty. Um, but yeah, according to the lovely and talented Palm, she's only 3 years old. So it was Children's Day at the time of the video or was filmed and streamed, and so that's why they had that match. But then Palm was like, "I'm 3," which she's not, but it's very funny that she thinks her years in wrestling are her age, and that's fun. It was a good undercard, very fun match. Rio Mizunami also wrestled. You might know Rio by her nickname Anaki, which is Big Bro. From Persona 4 and Persona 4 Golden, the Nanako calls the main character Big Bro, which she's actually just saying Anaki or Oni-chan, depending. But Big Bro is the nickname of Rio. She was in the Japanese end of a tournament for AEW. She's been on AEW TV a couple times. She is a big, strong, powerful lady. She whips ass and just has like a great vibe to her. It's just very strong. Like there's another wrestler in Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling that does a shoulder tackle a lot, and her shoulder tackles were not fucking effective. They were like, why are you trying to shoulder tackle Rio? Like, this is silly of you. What are you doing? Very good. Rio was very fun. She is an independent wrestler, not a main member of Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling, but certainly kicks ass. Yuki Ari, it was her second anniversary of her wrestling debut. She is still in an idol group. She's an active idol member, and she tagged with sometimes enemy Maki Ito, who was a former idol. She was famously, quote unquote, fired from being an idol. She probably wasn't fired from being an idol, but whatever. She did take a break from being an idol and move to Tokyo to pursue wrestling because she didn't want to be an idol anymore. That's true. But in storyline, she was, fired for being an idol. But most likely, it was like, hey, you need to make a decision what you want to do. And she's like, I want to wrestle. This is the thing that I think I am better at than being an idol. That part seems to be accurate, that she just didn't want to wrestle. She wanted to wrestle. She did not want to be an idol anymore, although her gimmick is still being an idol. But they wrestled, and Yuki lost. Yuki lost her second anniversary show because, of course, she did. She was against two very strong people, and she's not, that used to be in a tag team together. Still very good. Anyway, that's Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. That fucking whipped ass. That was real cool. I only saw two matches because the third was starting as the stream got ready to go in Backlash. I thought that WWE Backlash was happening tomorrow night. I thought it was a Sunday show. It's a Saturday show. So I didn't do a preview on Thursday, which I should have because I normally do previews. So here now is my response to the first two matches I saw and my thoughts on ones that you could probably look up and find out if I was right or not, but that's okay because I did not do my due diligence by doing that on Thursday. Bianca Belair versus Io Sky. Bianca Belair retained. It was a fantastic match. They had 30 fucking minutes, which is incredible to see on a pay-per-view card. A long ladies match, unheard of. WWE is more likely than AEW, certainly, but really great to see. There were a couple botches here and there. A couple spots didn't look too good. Seemed a little foolish. The crowd. Oh, first off, that crowd is fucking red hot, Puerto Rico is psyched for wrestling, and they were very much, I think they were just yelling because they are tired of Bianca Belair constantly winning. So they just all collectively decided to cheer for Io Sky, um, which was kind of surprising because Io is the heel. Very good match. I'm ready for Bianca to drop that belt or turn heel or both, because heel Bianca from NXT was fantastic. So I would love to see heel Bianca on the main roster. We haven't really seen it, so would love to see that. Io Sky looking great. This was a great showcase. I think her best match she's had since she was in NXT. So because her tag matches have been fun, but maybe a little favoring Dakota Kai rather than Io Sky. Io Sky just kind of being a spot person, just doing the big spots and not necessarily showcasing all that they're good at. Undergating. There's some undergating on this. I don't even know if I'm going to be able to. Let's see if I can show you the undergating. Real Grade's going to have a lot of undergating. Here we go. Okay, so can we focus? Can we focus? Okay, there's that piece. There we go. Okay, great. So there's just a little nubbin right there. That little nubbin doesn't need to be there. That's not an interlocking spot. That is undergating. It is just an extra little piece that we don't need. I'll show it to you much angle. That's probably the best angle there. There's just an extra little nubbin, and we got to get rid of that nubbin. That's right. We are doing some kit building. Welcome, Flame. I was doing a real zoomed in photo of what undergating looks like, but that's undergating right there. There's just a little extra piece there that we don't need. So now I can widen out because we don't need to build that close. Building that close is silly. Let's see. Oh, too much. Great. That's silly. We don't want to go that deep. So I've just been snipping these off as I go. It is really nice. I really love that I can get that. It is going well. We're working on this. We worked on this a little bit on Thursday and continuing on there. But yeah, the kid has been doing well. Let's see. So yeah, again, WWE Backlash happening right now. I don't know who won the third match, which was Austin Theory versus Bobby Lashley versus Bronson Reed for the triple threat for the United States Championship. I do know that Seth freaking Rollins, that's right. It's not Seth Rollins, it's Seth freaking Rollins, which I'm not a big fan of, whatever, defeated Omos. I am an Omos Sapien. I am a fan of Omos. I think that is a real nice dude, a real good guy who is better in the ring than he gets credit for. But I mean, he's a big anime fan. He's one of the guys that recommends anime to people in the locker room. Multiple wrestlers have said this. He's got an Instagram dedicated to his artwork, which is not great, but it's certainly fun, and I appreciate him putting it out in the world. And he seems like a swell dude that is just kind of stuck with a gimmick that doesn't serve him at all. But I do like Omos. There is a Botchamania moment in that match where Seth Rollins performs 2 stomps to the head. And then as he turns over Omos, you can clearly hear him say, "Kick out." And that is funny to me that you could just hear it. And then they showed a replay and you can still hear it because they showed it. You could hear it in the replay. And I was like, oops, sorry, Seth. You talk too much. I mean, he did it the right thing. He bent his head down and his hair covered him, so you couldn't see his lips move. But you could hear him because of the camera that has a good microphone right in his fucking face, which happens. He finishes his fight, goes, "You want to see some robots beating the shit out of each other?" And then he shows his opponent a clip of Gundam. Yeah, I mean, look, do I think that Omos's gimmick should be he's a big nerd? No. But do I think that there's more to this 7'3" wrestler than just I am a big man? Yes, I think you can do more. Like, Omos's first 2 gimmicks that he has had on the main roster were Big Man in the Raw Underground, which was their like less rules Fight Club thing that was terrible. So he was in that. And then also at one point he was the big ninja. Akira Toriyama. Yes. Akira Toriyama. No. Akira Tozawa had a group of ninjas at his disposal at one point, which, if you think that sounds terrible, you're right. Akita throwing in the ninjas, appreciate that. The idea that this Japanese wrestler had an army of ninjas at his disposal is kind of dumb and bad. But he had one very tall ninja, which was Omos, and that was fucking great. A silent ninja should not be a better gimmick than your current gimmick. You should never have a worse gimmick than Silent Ninja. But he does, because he is just a big, loud man that listens to a small man that tells him what to do. Now, MVP certainly knows what he's doing and understands things, but it's silly. The idea that MVP ditched Bobby Lashley to be the manager of Omos is just like, well, that seems like a mistake. Seems like a bad call. MVP. Seems like you made a mistake there. But anyway, I like Omos. I just think that it's silly that he doesn't have anything going on. I would like to see more from him because he is a big dude that can move a little bit. And that's nice. And a spectacle is fun. I was talking about Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling and how the main event was Sawyer Wreck, who was a very tall, very, like used to play volleyball in high school, like very athletic, almost lanky, but just like pretty fucking tall wrestler going up against a very tiny wrestler. And how that was very fun to watch. Big versus small. Fucking works. It's great. That was a fun match. There was some good shit on. I already talked about Yes Wonderland. Hype is coming up at the end of the month. Very excited for Hype. That will be the first Hyper Misao produced show. I look forward to that because she's got a weird, great mind for wrestling. So I'm excited to see what her first produced show. There's a 6-person match that is Hyper Misao the second, and we don't know what that means yet. There is a first hype match, which we don't know what that means. And then also the DDT, I believe still their open heavyweight champion, which is they have a 24/7 hardcore championship. They have a blow up doll. There's that blow up doll is in a match. And you're like, Pat, what the fuck are you talking about? Everyone pretends that that's a real wrestler. The audience knows it's not. They buy into it. It's very good. It's very fun. A wrestler who believes that she is actually a kaiju, a big monster, is wrestling that blow-up doll, and that's going to be a very good match. Hype, I believe Hype is just the 3 cards, although there will probably be more gimmicks and more nonsense coming. But yeah, small show. Excited for that. Theoretically will be, I don't know if it's going to have English commentary. I really hope it does, but I don't think it's going to get English commentary because that would be nice. But anyway, that's going to be a good thing. Again, I don't know what's happened so far in the rest of wrestling. I don't know who won the Austin Theory, Bobby Lashley, Bronson Reed match. I don't know who won Cody Rhodes versus Brock Lesnar. I don't know who won Rhea Ripley versus Zelina Vega. It's Rhea Ripley. It's got to fucking be Rhea Ripley. I don't know who's won Damian Priest versus Bad Bunny. You heard that right. Bad Bunny, the musician, for a while there, the supposed host of Backlash, is wrestling a street fight, a San Juan street fight. They're in San Juan. Versus Damian Priest. And then also Matt Riddle, Kevin Owens, and Sami Zayn versus the Bloodline. I feel like either the Bloodline wins this or Solo Sikoa turns on his brothers from his cousin, and the Bloodline suffers a huge defeat. I don't know which is going to happen. I think Cody Rhodes should lose, and people are going to be like, "Oh, he shouldn't have left AEW. Look what's happened to Cody Rhodes. He like won against Seth Rollins, but didn't win the title against Roman Reigns, and he lost to Brock Lesnar." And it's just like, that's still better. That my big theory on Cody Rhodes is he right now gets paid more to do less, and that sounds awesome. He used to be an EVP, and also he was the EVP that people went to when they weren't happy. He was the approachable one because Kenny was off doing stuff, and Kenny's likable, but you don't want to approach him with business. And the Bucks weren't around as much because they got kids and they're out off doing other stuff. You could find Cody Rhodes and you could talk to Cody Rhodes, and so wrestlers did that all the time. And he doesn't have to do that anymore. Instead, he's just a wrestler, and he doesn't have to worry about that shit. And he's like, yeah, he didn't win the big belt. They didn't want him to. He won the Royal... Okay, so in 2023, he won the Royal Rumble and main evented WrestleMania. And now he's in a program with Brock Lesnar, and it's just still really good, even if he's losing. Like, it's still very good. Okay, so... let's see. Try to figure out which leg. Okay, so this will go like this. Okay. So this is how these legs look. And the side, okay, I got one side on here. So it's going to have to go on this, and then one sticker goes on there. We're going to get one of these done, and then we'll look at it again. I'm really like, I can't fuck these up. And these aren't like important, but like I still want them to look good. So 10. This is 8. Where's 10? 10 is here. Okay, so that's 10, and then the other one is 17. Okay. Or wait, no, 10 is... This is 17, front ways. This is 10. Okay, so this is this one. If I'm looking for the front, this is this one. So we're going to put 10 on here. Or 17 on here, I should say. Sorry. Okay. So this is our sticker here. And it's like on a downward angle. It's like angled. So it almost goes up to on the gray. It's on the white and almost gets the gray. Okay. I think this is right. Hey, Xandra, welcome. Happy to have you here as always, my friend. If you're a subscriber, you can throw the Barricade the Leg of the Scythe and the Tier 2 blue emote in the chat because Xandra made all those. Xandra is our talented... she did all the emotes in here. Okay. Wow. We're almost a year. The blue emote is almost a year old. That's wild. Okay, so... Yeah. Is that actually... Okay. It's a little... Great. Okay, I think I got this here. Yep. That looks all right. That bends like that. That's pretty good. I'm going to try to get the other one on here to match it. I'm really going to put a lot of pressure on this here. I can also use... yeah, Xander, you made the blue emote for me for my birthday last year, which is in June. So, it being May now, that was a year ago. Because that was a birthday present. It wasn't supposed to be a birthday present. You made it one, but that was me being like, oh, I'm going to do another one. Right? What is time, Xandra? I don't fucking know. All right, so that's our first of the new stickers that we need for the Zaraba version here. And that was not nerve-wracking, but I was nervous about it. Now, if we can get the other one to look like that, that'll be great. It won't be super noticeable if it screws up, but it will be noticeable. I'll know. All right, so that was 17, and then we need 10 is the other one here. 10 is the one that says whatever on it. VF or whatever. Right? These are the worst of the stickers. That's not true. The ones on the backpack, or the backpack jet part, are also a little tough. There are some stickers that are going to go on this kit eventually that are not great. Hey, Lord Crashington, let me apply this sticker, and then I will hit the dance button, and dance music will play. But I have a sticker on a blade here that I need to get on. Yeah, so some of these stickers are like interesting in a way that I'm like, oh boy, okay. So then this one is like a little high, like right there. Yeah, all right, I feel okay about that. Yeah, getting your money's worth, right? I mean, this is a premium Bandai kit. So that's the funny thing about this real grade. I've talked about this before. This real grade gave you so many extra pieces because they when they were making it, they didn't want to have a lot of color correcting stickers, right? So to go from the Zeta to Zeta 3, they were like, oh, the solution to that is we won't bother you with a lot of stickers. We'll just make extra parts. So I have a lot of everything in here is unnecessary. I don't need any of this to build this kit. This is all extra bullshit. Literally, I took all this out. I don't need any of this. But that means when they went from the Zeta 3 to the Zeta 3 Karaba version, then they ended up giving you a lot of stickers. Because, like, there are some stickers here, but we really only, honestly, we need 4 of these stickers. 5. We need the gun sticker, the forehead sticker, the back of the head stickers, and then we need either these 3 or this one for the eyes. That's really all we need. Like a 3-in-1 kit. Yeah. We don't really need any of this other stuff. We might end up applying them, but we really only need the eyes and the head stickers. And all this stuff is extra. But these things are pretty necessary to make it look right, quote unquote. So these are the only stickers that we had to do for this part of the kit, which is great to know that we don't have to do anything else on the legs here. The legs are now done. So that's complete, which is great. Yeah, so this insert is for the Karaba version, and it's just like, hey, you don't need any of this. See these pieces? You don't need those. You only need from you only need one piece in that maroon color. They were figuring it out. 2012, they were figuring out what a real grade means. It just unfortunately then they had to kind of undo that because of this, special version, which is beautiful. I have never built the Zeta 3 real grade, so I've always been looking for one, and this was a good price. Again, pre-ordered from Premium Bandai. But this just looked so good that it made sense for me to get it because it's just like such lovely colors. All right, so that's probably all the wrestle talk. It was a lot of wrestling talk tonight. We'll go over like results to the pay-per-view on Monday, I'm sure. But yeah, there's wrestling pay-per-view tonight. Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling continues to be good. And if you were trying to get into wrestling, that might be an avenue in, because it's just all ladies and a non-binary wrestler, Maxi Impaler, the non-binary nightmare. But yeah, Max is not a full-time member of Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling, but Max does show up quite a bit. And Max is, of course, fucking awesome. So that, yeah. While we have some time before the pause for the cause, I am going to talk about 2 demos that I checked out. That's right, I played 2 video game demos I'll talk about the other games that I've been playing towards the end of the stream. But I will say, I did play 2 demos, and I liked both of them. There is a demo out for Goodbye Volcano High. And there's some like rhythm action stuff in there. Oh, I downloaded a bunch from the Yamada-kun thing. Yeah. Um, I knew that this was going to be a visual novel, right? I knew this was like a in your feelings dinosaurs in high school visual novel like thing. And I knew there was a band, and I knew there was like a senior year, and also that they're dinosaurs, so there's there's always going to be looming an event. But I did not know that there were going to be some rhythm action elements for the band, and I think they're good. I would say you should check out this demo. I knew from the trailer that I saw at whatever, I don't remember what it was, E3 or if it was Game Awards or what. I don't know what I saw when I first saw the demo for this, or the trailer for this, but I knew I was on board from minute one. Like the hit TV show Dinosaurs. Indeed, Lord Crashington. Much like the hit TV show Dinosaurs, there's always an end. There's always, you know where it's going to go. So yeah, you're going to make some decisions. I think it was pretty fun. Apparently, some of the dialogue is missing. I definitely felt that like, oh, like obviously if you're a visual novel, it's not all dialogue. It's not fully dialogue, but there were some parts that felt like, oh, I bet somebody would be saying something here. And I don't know if the demo showcases more gameplay than there would be in the actual game, and it's like, because it's a slice of it, right? We're seeing an element of it. I don't know how, like, oh, did they put in a lot more gameplay than you'll actually have, or is this actually like the vibe? I don't know. I don't have a good answer for you, but I can tell you that I really enjoyed what I played. But that is, I am, of course, predisposed to like this shit. Weird. The kind of game I like, and I like the demo of the kind of game I like. I know that's odd. That's a strange thing for me to say. But I did. I enjoyed it. The other demo that I played was the tactical RPG school Persona-ish. Persona, like, really like Persona 3-ish, kind of. Maybe Persona 4 a bit. But really does feel like, or maybe a little more Persona Q. Demon School. There's also an available from the Yamada-kun demo thing. And I've been following this because Necro Games. I like Necro Games. Wow, just friend games tonight. I know, right, Xandra? Like, this was like the perfect night for Xandra to stop by, because I'm just mentioning games of people that like we know, and I'm fairly certain, yeah, people, like I know them, but I don't know them in the same way that you know them, kind of a thing, where it's like, oh, these are people I appreciate, and like maybe they recognize me from like a Giant Bomb thing once, but I don't know if any of them are like, I wouldn't necessarily call any of them friends, but they're all people that I think are neat. And you probably have maybe a different one. Wrestling with Emotions is a game Lord Crashington just said, and I did not hear about that, but I will investigate. Wrestling themed demo called Wrestling with Emotions. Yeah. But yeah. But Demon School looks good. And apparently the game is supposed to be coming out soon, is what they're saying. Yeah, I mean, it's like demons in school and the kind of the like life situations, and that one is only available for a limited time, so I would say you should get it. Lord Crusher says with I guess the description for Wrestling with Emotions: it's time to kick ass and break hearts. Wrestling with Emotions, New Kid on the Block, is a wrestling dating sim that combines elements of RPGs and punk games to create a uniquely anarchic experience. Okay. Punk games. Yeah. I sure. I mean, honestly, yeah. Okay. Like like I don't know what else to say to that other than like, great. I hope it's good. That's fun. Um, I am not super into tactics games, but I think the vibes of Demon School were really fun. I enjoyed my time with the demo. I would say you should check it out. It's like the third wrestling game I've heard about in dev. Yeah, Ghost Valve. It feels like there are some indie wrestling games out there. Um, and that's great because I think that wrestling is a great exploration of storytelling. So the idea that there are multiple indie wrestling games out there makes me happy to know. I think that is very cool. That there are multiple. That if you're like, oh, I'm checking out this indie wrestler, that people will be like, which one? Which one are you checking out? That's cool. But yeah, Demon School. Check out that demo. The art is fucking great. The art is like very Persona, very fucking Persona. It's clearly Necrosoft is trying to make a goddamn Persona game, but there is some like old '80s anime vibes to like some of the outside elements of it. It definitely seems to wear its influences on its sleeve, and I am not opposed to that. In fact, I'm in favor of that. It's like, know your truth. So that's been great. I'm just going through my notes to see if there's anything else that I wanted to talk about. We're going to talk about anime in the second hour because I got my love story with Yamada-kun at level 999, Otaku Elf, and 2 Cute Crisis to talk about here. Some good stuff there. I shot another episode of Pat Bear's Anime Club, which is going up on Monday. This is the one that I have been quote-unquote threatening to do for a while. It is not necessarily about anime, but it is about an anime-related Japanese thing. I answer a question that people have asked me. It is, in my opinion, it is fun every now and again to just answer a question, not a wrestling question, but answer a question that somebody has of like, okay, Pat, I just need to know, like, why does this keep what does this thing mean? Why is this a thing? And that is fun to answer now and again. All right, so F25, and I do. So that's my tease for that. I'm not gonna actually tell you exactly what it's about, but I was happy to film it. I know what my next Baerly Rehearsed is going to be. I wrote a rough treatment of that. I'm going to finish that up tomorrow and record it probably on Monday. Although I might get inspired to record it tomorrow. I don't know. But I know what my next one is. I have a bunch of ideas for Baerly Rehearsed. I got a bunch, but this was the one that I was like, oh, I want to do this one. And it's one of those things where like, that doesn't happen all the time, but I'm like, oh, this might be, I don't think I'm the first person to do this because I never want to think that. But I'm like, oh, this might be my take on this might be a little unique. And that would be nice. We're still plenty away from the next clean slate, which is, if you're unfamiliar, I did one of them at episode 13 because I'm going to do 52 of these. So every 13, I'm just going to read all of the ideas I had, like the premises or just character lines. I'm going to read all of them that I'm like, I am not going to be using this. This idea, I haven't been able to make work. So goodbye. And then if there's any that I'm reading as I read through that, I'll probably, like keep a couple. And I ended up keeping like 2 from the last time I did it. Because I recognized that I was like, oh, actually, I like this idea, so I'm going to keep it. But it's basically so that I don't have like an incredibly long, unbelievably annoying list of ideas. And I keep like, because here's the thing, right? If I have an idea for something, like, is my dog in there? Is My Dog in There was one of the early ideas I had for this in like January. After the first batch of like, oh, this is old stuff that I kind of want to recycle and use again. I was like, I came across that and I was like, hey, is my dog. Like, I'm like, I don't know what that means, but I think it's pretty funny. And that sat until I was like, got to episode 13 and went through the list. And I was like, oh, I still haven't done Is My Dog in There. I still don't know what that means. Like, I could kind of figure out something, but I'm not sure. So I'm like, all right, well, instead of being annoyed about that and not just never picking it up, what if I just clean slate it and then I'll be done and it just lives out there? Although I did in the clean slate do the person who was upset that their house is not haunted. And I still think that's a funny idea that I might do something with. I just haven't fully figured out what the... I think the joke is that the ghost... It's an excuse to talk about the Ghostbuster ruling, where if it's common knowledge that a place is haunted, or like it's known to have haunt, you have to like include it. It's a court case, basically. That's not proving the existence of ghosts, but saying like, hey, if it's locally known that something like that would be a deterrent for people, you have to state that. You have to tell people. Basically, it is a rule that says you have to tell me if it's haunted. Like, you got to tell me if this place is haunted. All right, so what did I do wrong here? Because this is not clipping in right. So let's see. This is like this. Okay, so this goes like this. And then got to tell me if you're a cop. Indeed, Lord Crashington, you got to tell me if you're a cop. You also have to tell me if there are local news stories about how the place that you were trying the property you're trying to sell me is haunted. That's why there are certain parts of the country, United States here, some parts of the United States that do indeed say like property haunted, that go into it and do say that because their local constituency demands they say that. So I kind of want that of like, hey, when I bought this property, it said it may be haunted, and it's not haunted. I still think there's something to that. There is a joke there. I am just not convinced that I know what the joke is yet. But I do think that there is a joke, and I do want to figure it out. All right, I think I've gotten this. Yes, all right. I have now gotten this piece done. I think this looks right. Does this look right? Yes, okay. So I still have to do the other side. So let me do that. Because that was this side. But I still have to do... Yeah, okay. So I still have to do that. We're going to take a pause for the cause in a moment or two. We'll talk about ways you can support the channel and all of that. I've got some anime talk to tell you about, some stuff that I've been watching, some three shows I've been watching. We'll talk about the games I've been playing that weren't the demos that I just talked about here. Hear from all of you about what you're up to, what you're into, what's going on with all of you. That'll be fun. It's always nice to hear what you're all up to and into. But yeah. All right. I think I'll start assembling this once we're done with the pause for the cause, which we're going to get into right fucking now. Boom, over here to this camera. Hi, everybody. If you are currently a subscriber to the Build with Baer Workshop, please take a moment to throw the Bear Cave, the Lego, the Scythe, the Tier 2 Blue emote in the chat. We had Xandra in here, so of course we want to throw those emotes in there. Being a subscriber is the easiest way to support what I do here through cash money. $5 a month, or you could use your Prime Gaming token. If you have Amazon Prime, you have you can link it to your Twitch account, and you get that cool little bit of business there, and you can use that for free to support somebody. And why not have that be me, your friend Pat? Also, bits and coins always appreciated. If you want to get those cheer points in, you could do that. Harold is the top of that leaderboard. And the top of the gift sub leaderboard is a tie between Unjan and Omega 9X. We are currently at 40 subscribers, which rules. You could gift a sub to somebody in the community if you wanted to. That would be great. You don't have to do that. But if you would like to gift a sub, you're more than welcome to do that. It would be great if you wanted to do that thing. That's not the only way to support what I do here. Because also, hey, I don't know if you've heard of this site before or not. Maybe you have. But I have a Patreon. I'm on Patreon. Patreon.com/PatBear. If you're watching this later on YouTube, what's up, YouTube? You can find all this in the show description below the video. But yeah, over at Patreon, there's a $1, a $3, a $5, and a $10 tier. There are different rewards for the different tiers. You can get different things for supporting me on that website if you are so inclined. It's obviously optional like everything else. But if you're ever interested in somebody supporting their work, right? And you're like, I don't know, should I do Twitch? Should I do Patreon? Should I just send them like their coffee on occasion? Whatever you're comfortable with. I will say for me, I make better money from your money on Patreon than I do on Twitch. But on Twitch, I get to see the numbers go up. And it's nice. And you get emotes on Twitch. So wherever you're comfortable. But my Patreon's worth checking out. Over on YouTube, subscribing to my YouTube channel is free, of course, because subscribing is free. But if you wanted to become a member over there, well, you go over to YouTube, become a member, join. And for $2 a month, you get my Wednesday videos a day early. And my next one is going to be pretty good. I would check that out. I haven't recorded it yet, but I wrote the outline and it's funny. Let's see. Also, those are all monthly ways to support me. But what about one-time donations? What if you don't want to support me month to month because it's just like that's not something you're comfortable doing right now? But you're thinking, well, Pat, I would be pretty psyched with once in a while just throwing you a couple dollars. Is that something you'd be interested in? Yes. Through Coffee or PayPal or Stream Elements. And everything I make through direct donations like that. Through YouTube, which includes AdSense, so watch my videos. Through Patreon and through Twitch, all goes into a fund. And I buy model kits with that money. I would not have been able to pick up this Zeta 3 real grade that I am working on currently without your generosity. And I thank you very much for that. Now, I have some stuff to build when this kit is done. It's going to take a while. This is a detailed build. But eventually, I will finish this kit, and then I will start working on something else. And I'll pull from my backlog, my many kits in my backlog. But you'll say, well, Pat, is there any way to have you, like, build something specific? And there is. You could go to my Amazon wish list and buy something. And if you bought something from my Amazon wish list for me to build, it jumps the queue. It becomes the next thing that I build. So as soon as I'm done with the Zeta 3 Karaba edition, I would build the thing that you purchased. I've got Lego sets. I've got model kits, inexpensive kits, expensive kits, kits with free shipping, kits with it's not prime shipping, but it's prime free delivery, which is a different thing. A bunch of different kits on the list. Lots of stuff from Witcher Mercury, the latest series, but a bunch of different things that I will be happy to build on stream if you purchased it for me. And there's some gear at the bottom because it's always nice to have some gear. It's always cool. So see if there's something there that you would like to see me build. I'll also make a dedicated YouTube video about the thing that you mentioned. I have an alternative to that throne. Right now on my throne, I have a lot of gift cards and a few model kits and a few pieces of gear. I don't have a lot. I have to go. I really do. I keep saying that every stream. I got to go in and really like refresh the throne list. But it's nice having a wish list that is an alternative to Amazon. And also, they keep as much private as you want private about you. Like obviously, y'all know my first and last name. But if I was like a VTuber and I did not want my real name getting out there, shit is locked down on Throne. They go above and beyond for that, which rules. And they don't care if you're a streamer or just like a content creator or if you do adult content. Like they don't care about that, which is nice and hard to find that stuff out there. So I appreciate Throne. And then lastly, if you want to go to USA Gundam Store, you can buy a gift card there and then send me a whisper on Twitch or a DM on Twitter with the gift card code if you want to do that. I have a Discord. If you want to support me without spending any money, I got a nice little Discord. You can jump in there. A couple video links for you to check out. As I said, on Monday, I will have a new episode of Pat Bear's Anime Club. But if you missed my spring season recommendations, check out that video. I'll just link that there, Pat Bear's Anime Club. My spring recommendations, the ones that I'm like, the new shows, the returning shows, and a couple maybes, one of which I'm like, yeah, this is pretty good. The other which I'm like, I don't know if this is a good show or not. Still, I just don't know if Oshi no Ko is, it's interesting. I just don't know if I'm loving it. But I'm like, I want to see the next episode. I don't know. Really, it is a confusing series. Anyway, that I talk about it more in the video. And then there's Baerly Rehearsed, the ongoing video series. My apologies here. Sorry. The ongoing video series, Baerly Rehearsed, is, and I'll get to that in a second, Sandra. Baerly Rehearsed, I write some comedy pieces, and then I rehearse it. And I'm off book. Occasionally I'm reading along, but mostly I'm off book. And I have practiced it some. I have barely rehearsed it. This most recent one is me kind of giving a little speech while a thing, like a weird thing that happens on TikTok. I decided I was going to do the thing because I don't understand the thing. There are these TikTok videos where there's like people talking, and then below that, there's like an endless runner footage just plays, and I don't understand it, so I did my own because I don't get it. All right, we're going to talk about some anime. I'm going to drink some water. The first 90-minute episode of Oshi no Ko, which is like a mini movie, is a lot because it's like, this is what the show's about. It's actually about this. It's actually about this. And then also the thing that it ended with on the episode 1, where it's like, this is a detective series about, hey, Harold, it's a detective series, but it's about an actor idol who is, thank you for cheering 10 bits, Harold. It's a detective series where someone's trying to solve the murder, like what led to the murder of their mother / their favorite idol, and also their murder before they reincarnated as the son of that idol. But then also, it's not that right now, because right now it's like, hey, it's tough to be in the entertainment industry. Even if you are the reincarnation of someone and an adult in a child's body, it's still tough to be an idol. And I'm like, what is this show? I might be saying that at the end of this season. Like, what is this? But I like it. It's good. It's very good. I don't know. I have to drink some water, and we're going to dramatically transition to the overhead camera. And then I'm going to work on the waist of this kit right now. All right. Harold hit the hydrate button, which I appreciate. Thank you, Harold. And I did. I drank some water. All right. Let's talk anime. I got a lot of anime to talk about here. I got to bring this back up. For some reason, I closed the wrong tab. So I got to get my notes, my Build with Bear notes, to talk about some anime here. My Love Story with Yamada-kun at level 999. There was some Yamada-kun in this. If you have not been following this series, I will give you the briefest of recaps about what this series is about. This is a slow burn love story about a girl, Akane, who she got into an RPG, an online RPG, just like to do something with her boyfriend. He dumps her. She is heartbroken about that. She attempts to mend her broken heart with a dude she met in that, like, who is a very good player in her guild. who is apparently a pro gamer, and this is his like cool down fun activity with his friends, but not his like main passion, which is that he does better at other games. Okay, so let's see. Yamada, but he is like he's not cold, but he is like cool and calculated and like does not understand relationship stuff or people. He is definitely like got some stuff going on. Um, but they have developed like a rapport, and he's good looking and kind, and she's on the rebound. And even if he is like, yeah, even if he is like kind of learning to, he's like not good with social cues, but he's starting to like pick up some of them. Uh, and then we're starting to get exposed to the other people in his life and her life. Um, and in this episode, we are, oh yeah, so Akane is kind of falling for Yamada, and it's not necessarily reciprocated, but he is starting to like consider her like a friend, which is still a lot for him. But we're focusing this episode mostly on Runa. Now, I didn't like Runa before. I'm starting to like Runa more, but I didn't like her, and we were predisposed not to like her because Runa put Akane in a tough spot last week. Runa is the younger sister of the guild leader of the guild that they're all in, who is the childhood friend, Eta, who is childhood friend with Yamada. So Runa and Eta are brother and sister. Runa has always liked Yamada. And Runa was jealous about Akane, like, suddenly having, like, a good rapport and a good friendship, like, out of nowhere. Because she likes him, but also we learn that she is a spoiled brat. We did not necessarily, we knew that like she was up to no good. God, I can't get this together. I'm gonna try again here. I'm trying to like talk about this while doing this thing here. So we knew that she wasn't necessarily like in the best of intentions, but turns out that she was just like she's spoiled. She was spoiled. She's been spoiled for a very long time, by her parents and Ada, and outside of and it's hard for her to make friends because of her spoiled nature. And outside of her brother and Yamada and friends she made online, well, hey, Akane is now Akane, who kind of forgave her for the setup from last episode. This is her first like real friend. This is like her first chance at a real life friendship, and that's beautiful. Except that Runa is not a great friend because Akane has other friends like Momo, who we met in episode 1, who is her friend that's in the same college and like her dear friend. And so we have Runa being like very unhappy with Akane wanting to spend time with Momo. And it's like, girl, I am just starting to not hate you as a concept of a character. You gotta fucking figure shit out. And obviously conflict, all of that. We're expecting that. We're expecting, things aren't smooth, always going to sail smoothly, I should say. Easy for me to say. But yeah, there were some parts where I'm like, all right, okay, well, hopefully I'll start liking you as a character more soon. We'll see what happens. H9, all right. Akane is starting to think like, hey, maybe Yamada and I are actually like growing closer, because he like recognizes that he said something that was insensitive. Like he has a moment where he's like, oop, I said something there that it makes sense why she would be upset with me. And he recognized that on his own. And then Akane's computer just stops working. It short circuits or like freeze. There's some shit going on, and she doesn't know. And her tech support was her now ex-boyfriend, so she doesn't know what to do. She can't play the game. She can't socialize with people. Yamada gets guilted into going over to help. And he's like, "Oh hey, thank you for the frozen dinners you gave me before." And it's like he's being thoughtful. And it's like, oh, we're not asking for a lot from him, uh, but we are surprised by the small things for a guy that is like, this is just not his style. Um, and then Runa, who has been a lot in various different ways. She's like, Ada had said, like, I think this is like this could be a thing and good for both of them. And Runa's now like, I actually agree. I think this is a relationship that I'm gonna like help with. And she does a very like, she doesn't really know how to help with a relationship. So she does the lucky pervert scene, her words, of like, oh, I'm gonna bump into them so they like have to like be in close physical contact. Um and that doesn't work because it just injures Yamada's eye, which is very sitcom-y. But it actually does work because their faces are very close to each other because Akane is trying to see Yamada's eye to see if there's any damage or whatever. Um, and then Yamada gets very flustered, and we're actually seeing this like, other than him being like, even in the first episode, he's like annoyed that she is like asking more from him that he's willing to give, uh, because they don't know each other. But even then, he doesn't really protest that much. This is like a lot for Yamada to just be like completely flustered and then have to leave, because he's like, oh, I forgot my tools. Because yeah, just their close proximity out of nowhere kind of got to him. So look, do I think these characters are gonna kiss by the end of this season? No. Do I think there'll be like some kind of moment to be like, oh, all right? I think this is I assume that this is an incredibly slow burn series. That is my gut. My gut says that this is just gonna like take a while. Did I even fucking do this right? I'm sorry, everybody. Hold on. I don't. I'm looking at this. No, I didn't do this right. How did I fuck this up? If I'm looking at from behind, these should be in the middle. I put like the wrong. I have these on wrong. No wonder why it didn't want to go together correctly. I was doing it wrong. So that's fun. So we got to pop that off. I got to pop this off. At least I recognize it now until I started, didn't figure this out too late. Although I didn't have to force these together, but they didn't really want to go together, so. This is what I get for reading and then also talking and then also working on a model kit. So I have to disassemble. Yeah, because these have to go face the other way. So put these on wrong. Anyway, the next anime, while I try to figure this out, try to pop this apart without breaking anything, I can tell you about um, Otaku Elf. Otaku Elf continues to be a very fun series that I'm really enjoying. This is a story about the new Miko, I should say, Koito, who is just coming of age, and she is now taking care of the goddess at the shrine, and the goddess of the shrine is an elf. This regular Japan, since the end Edo period, has summoned elves from a different world to be their shrine goddesses. And this elf, Elda, is a otaku. She is like kind of a shut-in, nerdy about stuff, but like a big fan of Japanese culture. And in this episode, so she sends psychic messages to people. That is how she communicates with people, and she uses spirits. But these spirits are kind of getting overworked and overwhelmed. So this episode was like a couple small little things and then one big thing. But we'll do the small things first. So Koito gives her a smartphone. And Elda is embarrassed to remember that in the Edo period, this is a real thing that exists. The part of the unification of Japan was a messenger service that was founded to aid with the unification. And these two elves misused that service to send childish jokes back and forth, which is like, it's a piece of history. Sorry, I'm trying to separate these parts here without breaking them, because this is the legs, and so I kind of need this to not be broken. You know what I mean? So I have to get this part out here without any of the pegs breaking, because if I break the pegs, I can like glue them back together, but that's not gonna allow for movement. I really did fuck this up. And these are the parts where there's no extra, because there's the color correcting parts, so you could always like have it be the wrong color but the right part, but like there's no color correcting for this. These parts, there's no duplicates of these in a different color scheme. I was wondering why this didn't fit together well, because I wasn't doing it right. Okay. Okay. And all right, I removed it. It's bent a little bit in a way that I don't feel good about, but we should be okay. I just won't post this kit that much. All right, so let's go back here. This is this part and that part. All right, so this is the back here. So I want this to go like here, and then this. Let's see, I will resume my talking about anime that I've been watching once I get this right, because I want to get this right. Okay. And then this goes like that. Yes. Okay. So that's incorrectly. That's incorrectly, not incorrectly. That's in right. And then this piece, I'm just going to swing these up. This piece as his back, we want this like, figure out this like here. No, that also looks wrong. Like what? Oh, okay. Back to basics on this. All right. So this is going to go. This is just one of those things, friends, where if I get this wrong, it's going to really fuck up. So I am attempting to just get it right, because I already fucked it up and I don't want to fuck it up again. So the very least I know this is on this side. So when we're looking at it from here, this is going to be here. Okay, so this is going to be here. This piece is going to go like that. And so I need the part that goes out there. Like that. All right. So that goes like that. That goes like that. Then this piece goes in there. This goes up through that. That goes. All right. I think I've got this right. I think this is correct. I think this is right. Okay. Whew. All right. And then this is also going to go like this and there. And then this is the other element of it. So then we have this piece looks like this. This piece looks like that and fits in there. And then this fits in like this. And then this fits in like that. And then when we stick everything together, friends, we're just going to have to be very careful. But I think I actually did it right now. I really did it wrong before. And I think now I can tell you that I am doing it probably okay. And that is good news because I was really not doing a great job with that there. All right, so then this goes up like this, that, and then that goes in here. Okay, and that locks in like that. Whew, okay. Great. This waist was confusing. Yes, Harold, it is nice when things come together. All right. Now you're going to say, Pat, that's the waist. Why are you now immediately going from the waist to working on the head? And that's because this kit transforms into a flight mode. So the head and the waist are weirdly connected to one another. It is very strange. It will make more sense later. But right now I am building like parts of the waist and the head. So eventually it looks like this, which is bonkers and strange. So we are working on the head unit now next. And it's very odd that I'm doing that. I agree with you. I agree. It's very weird that we're working on like the head now. But we are. Okay, so while I work on the head. The spirits are unhappy that our girl Elda is now working with a smartphone. And so she's like, all right, well, I'm going back to the old way. I'll just make sure that I don't overwork them, which is nice. And then Koto, her coming of age ceremony is coming up. Her coming of age ceremony is right around the corner, and she buys this coat, and it does not suit her. It is comically like way too old for her. It is way more of an adult. Like, it's nice looking coat, just does not feature her. But that is her sub game of this whole series, is that she wants to be more adult. She wants to present as mature. A26, which is going to be A26. Is that, which one is that? 26 is 25. It's 24. Where are you, A26? There you are. You're down here. And then Elda. So Koito and Koma eventually put Elda in the new coat, and the elf looks great. She looks like a fucking model. And then they do the like accidental thing where she like trips, and then her arm goes against the wall for Koto. And like, you know, Koto like is like she gets a little, doesn't get like hot and bothered, but like it's a weird moment. It's a weird moment in the episode. But Elda does not enjoy that because there another flashback. There was a period where she bought where this is true. I did not know that we were going to get so many history lessons, especially in this episode. But there was a period at the Endo period. There was a time where extravagant clothing was illegal because it was like Western influence. So you couldn't have that. So she never wants to be fashionable. That's just not her vibe. All right, so we need F10. We built this part here. The neck here. We need F10, which is this. And we'll do that. Um, and then okay, so here's nice. For the ceremony, Koto is always, she wants to be more adult. Well, she gets something very old and classic. It is a beautiful antique kimono um, that all the way back to the first Miko has worn. So she is given this beautiful kimono to wear that has existed for 400 years since the first Miko, since the first time that Elda had an assistant. Um, and Elda wishes that Koto did not have to grow up so fast because she should be enjoying her youth. Again, this is a silly little series about an elf that is discovering cool modern Japanese shit, and is kind of a lazy, stay about character. But they keep finding reasons to have it be like heartfelt and lovely, and I was not expecting that, and I am quite enjoying it. This continues to be a lovely little series. That's Otaku Elf. And you can watch that series if you're interested. You can check out that series over at High Dive, where you can also watch the next series that I'll be chatting about, which is Too Cute Crisis. I wish the art for Too Cute Crisis was a little better. The animation is a little off. It is definitely an inexpensive series, but unlike some other shows where the art is just real bad and I'm having a bad time with it, the art in this, it's the animation might not be great, but the art is like the design is still really solid, and the characters are so fucking funny and cute and great that I am still just having a ball with it. So I'm really enjoying Too Cute Crisis. Here is the short plot summary of Too Cute Crisis. What if aliens were deciding if Earth should be destroyed or not, and the thing that is preventing them from making that decision, or maybe even leading towards saving the Earth, is the discovery of cats and how majestic and awesome they are. Thank you, cats. So we have an alien living on Earth that has now adopted a cat to understand it. Her alien cohorts have also ended up on Earth, and they're discovering cats and dogs. And last episode, there was a hamster, and it's just like learning about other types of majestic animals and pets and how they're great. It is a lovely little series so far. And it's one of those things where, like, the premise is just like, that's the whole show, but they just keep introducing better and more fun animals. And so it's just like, yeah, all right. Yeah, you keep winning me over here. Yeah, please keep introducing more animals. Like, good job, everybody. Like, you're nailing it. I'm loving these. I'm loving these pets. So let's see other things with this episode. So they finally learn, like the animals, don't give a shit about the humans. Yeah, I mean, like, they don't care about these aliens. It's very fun. They learn about the different mammals that are part of the species among cats, like cheetahs and pumas and jaguars and leopards and lions and domestic cats. But they don't properly understand that information because they think that cats grow up to be lions, or like that it's like stages of like character evolution. So they don't understand that, but they do start to understand that there are a lot of different kinds of cats out there, and some are very, like domesticated and others aren't. So they are learning about animals, just like sometimes they don't quite get it, which is fun. That's a fun thing. We also meet a new character named Karu, who is Kogane, who is like the human that they spend a lot of time with. That's her schoolmate, and he just adopted a new cat, and he's been uploading videos documenting the growth of said new kitten, on his on his channel, because He is, of course, on their fake YouTube, YanTube, which is not that creative. If you were going to name your fake YouTube, you can do better than YanTube. But whatever, there's YanTube. And obviously there's a little kid, and you get more Lisa the alien, who is just like completely thrown and in love with and so loving this little kitten and like expressing that. But then also they like Kaoru's like, hey, be in my video. Like that'll freshen things up. So then like the hijinks of them all being involved in the video is very cute and fun. It's a good time. And then also, hey, does this new guy, like maybe he and Kogane have like some feelings for each other? Are we going to get like some relationship stuff going on here, or just like some flirting going on? Because that's also great. I don't know. There were vibes. And I will say this. The vibes were pretty good. I thought for sure that there were other stickers that were going to go on this kit, but it's not. It's just the eye stickers, I guess. Maybe in this version you don't put on the other stickers, but we do have the eye stickers. So we did that. But I thought for sure that there was like front and back stickers, but whatever. Maybe we'll do them at the end. Let's keep working on this head here. Okay, so I got E1 to put on here, which E is that? There's 3 different E's, so I have to find the E1 that I didn't remove. Okay, that's this color. All right, so I got E1 to put on here. And then I got H, 13 and 12, so we'll do that. Also, the third part, because this is like a 3-part episode, or not 3-part episode, but like there's 3 little things in here. It is very important that we help a young boy that gets introduced, who is missing his cat. And Lisa panics. First Lisa panics because her own cat, Yuzora, kind of just like disappears, but then finds its way back, like, cats do. But she's not used to cats, so she doesn't know that is a thing. So we have that, but then there is a little guy, and they have to help this little guy find his missing pug, because there's a pug named Kotaro, and we got to find Kotaro, everybody. And they use some of their alien technology to help find Kotaro, which is great. Nothing happens in this show, but it's very good and very fun and very wholesome and cute. And that's Too Cute Crisis. I shouldn't have said it's cute when it's called Too Cute Crisis, but you get what I'm saying. It's a lovely little series. I do wish the animation quality was like a touch better, but I'm like, still happy with it. It's still good. It just could be like kick-ass instead of like pretty good. I am panel lining as I go on this kit because that is the best way to do it. In my opinion, with heads like this, because there's just like a lot of components and compartments here. So sometimes it's just easier to get in with your marker wherever you can. We've got a little time left in the stream. I want to hear from you, friends. What are you watching? What are you playing? What are you into right now? We heard about at least a couple demos from Steam demo stuff. If there was anything there that struck your eye, struck your fancy. I am still playing Persona 4 Golden with mods. Of course, I played that on stream this week, but then I have gotten the bug to continue. I have, last time we talked here, since then, I am now trying to save Rise. I have completed all of the tasks that Margaret had set out for me. So that's done. But yeah, I've saved Rise. I'm just waiting for her to like wake up. So I saved Rise and Teddy, and then I have completed all of the Persona tasks that Margaret requires of me. So I have maxed out that. I am waiting for more time so we can hang out more with Marie. I still need to hang out with Kanji a bunch. I have maxed out my relationship with my uncle. I forgot that in Golden, it's fucking complicated to get the fishing pole. I completely forgot that I have to like hang out with this bug catcher kid and like find his net, and then I have to trade him a bunch of bugs, and then I have to do something else, and then I can get a fishing pole. And I forgot that it's really annoying and complicated because all I want to do is fucking fish. But I forgot it's really annoying, complicated. And also, Pat, you're asking, have you tried to cheat to get yourself a fishing pole? Yes. I cannot find anywhere in the save editor. I cannot find anything that would grant you a fishing pole. And I don't think that I think I can get bugs. I can just add bugs to then trade with the bug guy, and that'll speed things up. But I first have to find the lady who has the net and get that going. So I'm frustrated by that because I just want to fish in the game, and there's been no easy way right now for me to cheat that. And I just want to. I want to be able to fish. And it's annoying that I have been unable to do so. All right. So also, why is this piece being weird? I put this together too soon. I put the sides of the head on. I hadn't put the top of the head on. And also there's a front piece that needs to go on too. So let me do both of those things. Or let me just see if I can put the head on now. A16. I got to put A16 on here. What you've been saying. You said, Lord Christ said, Guardian of the Galaxy 3 Volume 3 was good. I'm glad you liked it. I definitely am not going to see that in theaters, but I will at some point see that movie. So I am glad you enjoyed it. That's great. Harold says, been down this past week, so I've been watching a lot of old Loading Ready Run content. Hey, I don't know if I've been down, but I have been needing stuff to be on the background, and I've also been watching some old LLR content. I've been watching some of the monthly, when they were doing their behind-the-scenes stuff, the loading times. I've been watching some of the monthly loading times, and it's fun to see, like, people pitch bits that I think are great, or like when they were first getting into doing live and were like pitching ideas that like they would. Ian pitches Hornhole, the Ian Horner Cornhole, like years before they fucking did it, and I didn't remember that because I was just like watching, not at the time, but like a while back. I watched that happen, or him pitch that, and I forgot about it until it happened. It finally happened. And then I remembered in this like last like viewing, I'm like, he fucking pitched that like 5 years ago or some nonsense. It's so weird to think that it took that long to do it. But yes, the Ian Horner Cornhole was apparently pitched years, like a lifetime ago. And that's very funny to me. All right, so that went in. Okay. So E1, I should probably do first, and I don't know how to do that. Lastberg says, after watching the first one for Nextlander Watchcast, I started watching through the rest of the Resident Evil movies. Oh, boy. I watched the one that's in 3D, and that one was fun. I've watched all of the Resident Evils, but I watched a few of them. There's one where there's a scene where she shoots, like, a gun full of gold coins, and the gold coins, like, you know, are in 3D at you, and it's pretty great. I saw that. I would have never seen that movie except to my friend Corey. Shout outs to Corey Brown. My buddy Corey loves bad movies and going to see bad movies. So we saw, like, I've seen so few 3D movies, but that is a movie that we saw in 3D. Also, one of the silliest exchanges I've ever had with another person happened at that movie. We sat down. We had the glasses in our hands. We were ready to watch the movie. And then someone from behind us said, "Excuse me, is this the 3D showing? And we were like, yes. And she's like, okay, I just want to make sure because I don't know if I'm supposed to be here. And I was like, well, this is the 3D one. And she's like, well, I just, until it starts, how do you know? And I was like, well, right before we walked in, they handed us 3D glasses. And they wouldn't do that if this wasn't the 3D showing. And she was like, yeah, okay, that makes a lot of sense. And I was like, oh, good. I'm glad it made sense because I don't know. Like, I was like, did you think that maybe they just handed out 3D glasses for the 2D version? Like, no, you're in the right place, lady. I don't know what to tell you. It was such a weird, like the only thing I could think of is, oh, I bet this person has a lot of self-doubt, like all the time. Like this person lives with a ridiculous amount of self-doubt. Maybe she's gaslit by someone. I don't know. But it was so odd to me that she just really needed like clarification that she didn't fuck up and she was in the right place. That always stuck with me. It's a shotgun full of quarters. It's like gold coins or something. I don't know. It's something like that because they shoot at the screen. It's a whole goddamn thing with that movie. Ugh. I watched a lot of those. I don't think I watched the last like two, but I watched a lot of those Resident Evil movies, and they're not. The first one's like fine, and then they become bad, and then they become like bad good, and then I don't know how they end up. All right, so there we go. Okay, this real great is going to be not the death of me because this kit won't beat me, but it is going to be tough. Lord Crasher says, I rewatched the Giant Bomb Breaking Bad series with Volgar the Viking, which has a fun moment where Vinny turns a joke about his sore legs into a third leg joke that Brad turns into a retort about his son before regretting it immediately. Yeah, in the heat of the moment, sometimes you just... Also, double-edged sword, right? So, it's a two-pronged thing, right? Sometimes you do a joke that you're like, that was in poor taste, and I regret that joke. I wish I hadn't made that joke. And sometimes you make a joke, and you're like, I stand by this being very funny, but also the community might latch onto this joke and run into the ground and be fucking weird about it. And so I regret giving the crowd a license to be real weirdos about things. So that often happens sometimes where you're like, that was funny, but I still wish I hadn't said it. So I respect it and understand it. And sometimes you're just like, oh, I wish I could take that back. Regret. I have regards. All right, so where does this go? Where do you go? How do you go in there? Oh, because you open up. Duh. This is interesting. We're going a little late tonight because I wanted to finish the head. Because I don't understand how it works. But the head basically is going to slot in and then open up. But basically, the head is like the antenna just kind of like fits in here and then opens up. It like slots in. But you want to keep it slotted together, but eventually it's going to go like this and be like the real antenna, but that's going to start being like this because we're building it with it enclosed. So I'm going to open this up. Hey, Cyclone, you've missed 2 hours of model kit building and hanging out. We went from just finishing one of these legs to finishing the other leg, building the waist, and then building the head that fits in part of the waist because this kit has a weird transformation. So we're going to find out on Monday how these two parts interconnect uh, and the weirdness of this kit. But we'll find that out on Monday because right now we're at the end of the stream. Unfortunately, Cyclone. But thanks for coming in. We are going to raid. That is how we end every stream around here in the old Build with Baer Workshop. We're going to find some people doing cool shit that we want to go hang out with. And it's always nice to raid because, hey, I don't know if you know this, but if I'm raiding someone, it's because I think they're cool. And I think their community is nice and that they do cool shit. I don't just go, who else is model building? Because I'm sure, look, I know there are a lot of great model kit builders out there. I'm aware of it. I've met a lot of them. I should be rating more of them, but I don't just go to a category and see what's going on. I am sending y'all and myself, because I'm going to hang out in the stream too, to someone that I know and know does a very good job. So we're going to figure out who that is right now. We're going to go see who are we going to go raid. Who's doing shit right now? Will Smith is still just has a camera on birds. Hey, my buddy Joe Kim has not streamed in quite some time. Joe Kim is playing Hard Space Shipbreaker. I always want to say Hard Ship, but it's Hard Space Shipbreaker. We haven't rated Joe in quite some time. Joe is lovely, got a great community. So we're gonna go hang out with Joe Kim. Feel free to jump in there when we hit the raid button. But thanks everybody for joining me tonight. I hope you had a good time. I had a great time on a Saturday. I thought this was going to be a very chill, like only a few people, and more people showed up, which rules. Come back on Monday as I continue this kit because the legs are done, but we got to figure out why this head is weirdly connected in the waist and what that means. So we got more to build with this kit. It's Manga Monday, so we'll talk about a manga that I've been reading, and of course anime. Soletta Sunday is tomorrow, so we'll talk about Witch from Mercury on Monday because it's Witch from Mercury Monday. Thank you all so much for being here. I hope you have a great rest of your night. Thanks for making my Saturday just a little bit better, and I'll see you soon. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye, 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 goodbye.